Hi everyone. Hello and welcome. Dear jury members, thank you for joining on a Saturday evening. This is Aruna and it's a pleasure to be your host for the next couple of hours. The Institute of Product Leadership proudly welcomes you all for the Skillathon in Product Design by the cohort of Product Management Certification Program. Our participants will present their innovative solutions and our esteemed jury will evaluate them on key parameters. As Skillathon goes, it promises to be an evening filled with excitement, challenges, and skill demonstrations. Now, this is an event where top shortlisted participants from the cohort present their hands on projects and portfolio towards assurance of skill to demonstrate problem understanding of customer persona, use of tools and presentation, and design solution. Today's session is going to be exciting and will definitely have some great learning takeaways. The cohort will walk the talk of the IPL mantra, learning by doing. The audience will not just witness it live, but will also get to vote and choose the winner. I'll get to that in a bit. Let me begin the session by giving you an insight on what Skillathons are and why IPL emphasizes on Skillathons being the real test of skills. Skillathon is an event where the top performing learners demonstrate their understanding of a skill and application of the same in the context of a real world product idea as part of their learning journey to industry experts and other learners. At IPL, we replaced examinations with skillathons and studying with learning by doing. The Institute strongly believes that the real test of skills is by demonstrating your idea to a live audience and industry experts. Now, before we start, let me give you a quick glimpse of what Product Management Certification Program is. It is a globally recognized program with assurance of skills versus knowledge, and it is highly focused on career transition or career acceleration and entrepreneurship. Now, here we follow the main pedagogy being learning by doing. Now, it is time to introduce the juries for today's event. Today, we have a prolific jury of three of the leading industry practitioners. Now, I'll start with the first jury of the day, Mr. Kiran PK, Associate Vice President, Product Design, Cornerstone On Demand. A hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great, sir. Now, second up, we have Mr. Raju Kumar, who is the Senior Product Design Manager, HDFC Bank. A very hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Great, sir. And finally, we have Mr. Harsh Kumar, who is the Director of Product Design, Varian. Very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Looking forward to.
Thank you so much, sir. And once again, a very warm welcome to all the juries. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today as the jury of today's Skillathon. Now, before we get to the main event of the day, a few guidelines. Each team will have 10 minutes to present, followed by 5 minutes of feedback or Q&A. And here, feedback is given by the juries. Now, I will give you a reminder at the 7th minute, and you can have 3 more minutes and finally an additional 30 seconds to summarize the final thought. Juries will cast their votes on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. The scores will be announced by the juries out loud. Now, once the presentation is done, audience, please keep your phones ready to scan the QR code on the screen to cast your votes. So, without further ado, let's begin the presentations for the day. First up, we have Team 1, Sonia T, Susmita Power, and Vijay Karthikeyan S.
Hi, everyone.
Are you guys
Good afternoon.
ready to present?
Yes. Yeah.
Great. So
Just give
once
a
you
second.
guys are ready to share the screen and start your presentation, please let me know. I'll start the timer.
Definitely. Just sending a request for sharing. Please let us know if you're able to see the screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Right, you're able to see the screen with the Smart Hub as the title.
Yes, Vijay, we are good to go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fine. Thank you. So once again, good afternoon, everyone. Smart Hub, smart living made life effortless. So that's our idea. My name is Vijay Karthikeyan, along with my teammates Sushmita and Sonia. We are here to demonstrate how we can scale fragmented technology into a unified user experience. Our agenda of this product design is guided by the 5 years framework, starting from strategy to surface, where we would like to showcase how we make use of the tools to understand the problem better and come up with an idea or a solution that we wanted to take it forward. So the current smart home landscape is defined by a paradox. A technology that is intended to simplify our lives has instead created a significant burden through fragmented ecosystems and app fatigue. Smart Hub serves as the strategic orchestration layer that resolves this friction, unifying device control, intelligent automation, and real time security into a single vendor agnostic interface. By eliminating technical complexity, we are moving beyond gadgetry and to deliver an effortless living experience where the home finally works for the user, not against them. Ensure Smart Hub is built on a foundation of genuine market need rather than technical assumptions. We utilize this user centered design canvas to align our strategic vision. Starting with our business goals and target users, we have identified distinct segments like power users requiring deep integration, parents prioritizing security, and seniors needing extreme simplicity. By analyzing the current user problems, specifically app fatigue and system latency, and comparing them against existing alternatives like fragmented native apps, we identified a clear gap in the market for a vendor agnostic solution. Our solution and unique value proposition centers on the promise of one home, one app, zero friction. We deliver this through key features such as universal pairing, biometric security, and these technical capabilities are distributed through strategic channels to reach our users where they already seek home solutions. So we were able to do some user interviews, and we have drafted here the answers that we got it from the user interviews, and the conclusion that what we got it from these interviews, uh, which reveals where the frustration with fragmented device management, and there are concerns around privacy, reliability, and there is a complexity in the setup, and there is a strong motivation driven by convenience, security, and energy savings. So, with this conclusion from the user interviews, we are able to define our persona. Meet Marcus, who is a software engineer and an early adopter. He owns a lot of gadgets and he is a tech enthusiast. That's why we tag him as fragmented per user. He always likes to control all devices from a unified app and he wants to save time and achieve seamless integration. But he thinks that time is being wasted switching between the apps and there is lack of interoperability between the devices. We also able to define another persona named Sarah, who is a mother and works as a healthcare administrator in an organization. We tag her as a safety first parent as she always wants to monitor her house remotely while she is at work or commute or away. And she always feels that missing important alerts due to notification overload and there is a complex interface requiring technical knowledge, etc. like that. So, with these persona in mind, we were able to develop our idea and map the user journey with the help of these user actions like discovering the different devices that each and every user buys into the home and they wanted to set it up and onboard it to the app and make them as their regular daily usage and control them how they wanted to do it day in and day out and what all the securities that has been implemented and the alerts that they are benefited from. So with the help of this user journey mapping and the tools that we made, we felt that the idea of this to develop is the strategy is there and we wanted to proceed further. So I would now hand it over to Sonia to walk you through the way how we took this idea forward.
Thank you, Vijay. Good afternoon, juries. So this slide explains how we define the scope of smarter product. So based on our user research, we prioritized features using three key factors, that is user impact, technical feasibility, and business value. So we then categorize features into two groups, must-have features for the MVP and nice-to-have features for the future enhancements. For the MVP, our focus was mainly solving the main problem that was identified during the user research, that is fragmented smart home control. So the core features includes cross-brand device integration, unified home dashboard, basic device controls, automating routines, and daily real-time security monitoring, which also includes smart notification, voice control support, visitor pass functionality, and also additional capabilities are also planned, with such as like advanced automation rules, and few others were identified as the enhancement for the future versions. So once feature scope was defined, we then translated these capabilities into user journeys and navigation structures. Next is what we have, the product roadmap. We have kept the product roadmap very simple. This roadmap outlines how smart her product could evolve over the time. So the initial phase focus on launching the core MVP alone, with the device integration, basic automation, and security monitoring. So future phases expand capabilities and all is planned a bit later. So with this roadmap in place, we focused on designing how user would interact with our system. So the next slide shows the user flows and information architecture. Basically, for our Smart Hub application, user flow helps us understand how user complete task step by step, allowing us to simplify navigation and reduce friction. So we focused on three core flows that represents most common smart home interaction. One is the add device flow, that is discovering the new devices and connecting the new devices to the hub. The second one is create routine flow, where you have automate
Sonia, you
multiple
have
devices.
3 minutes left. Thank you.
Yes. So multiple device based on the schedule and triggers. And the next is security flows, where you can monitor your cameras, manage logs, get real-time security alerts. So designing these flows helped us to maintain clarity and control for the users. So with this, we next went to the skeleton and surface of 5S strategy, where we came up with the wireframes. So we started with low fidelity wireframes to define the layer information hierarchy and interaction structure for the application. So with this, then we created high fidelity mockups as well, incorporating the full visual design of the basic core MVP that we were focusing on, with the interaction pattern and few core features in the MVP on the product. So I will show you the prototype after I conclude, because I'll have to navigate. So I will with this I'll just conclude. To conclude, the idea behind SmartUp comes from the clear gap today of a smart home ecosystem. While many people own smart devices, the experience is still fragmented because different devices often require different separate applications. So Smart Hub addresses this simple problem by creating a unified platform that centralizes device control, automation, security in one simple interface. We know that there are already platforms in the market such as Google Home, Apple HomeKit, and Samsung SmartThings as well. But users still face challenges with cross-brand compatibility and complex setup process. Of course, we know that bringing a product like Smart Hub to live would involve challenges such as device interoperability, integration across ecosystem, and security issues and privacy issues. With all this keeping in mind, but still think that a smart home adoption continue to grow, and the need for simple and more unified experience makes this concept highly relevant. So ultimately, Smart Hub represents a step towards making smart living more seamless, intuitive, and effortless. So with this, I think I will ask Vijay to help me take over the screen and show you the prototype. Just will take another 30 seconds. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So I hope the screen is visible.
See the screen.
Yeah, so we have.
Sorry, actually, your time is up, but you can have additional 30 seconds to wrap up your thought.
Thank you, Runa.
Thank you.
So this is the login. So we sign in, and this is how the dashboard looks like. So whatever the user has already set up will be here. And like I said, based on the MVP that we are planning, so few features like adding new devices would be here, and whatever devices you like to hand, you can scan and pair. And then we will have routine. So for an example, you want to create a routine, you can just go create a routine like this and then say time, lights on, set temperature, and you can save your routine. So automatically it will be saved here. And security, so for now the front door, what is the current status of it, then you can just go unlock your door. Visitor pass features, if you want to generate and send some passes, that also can be done through this app. So this is what we have planned for the initial prototype, and this is all we had to share. Thank you, juries.
Yep.
Thank you so much for that, team. I really appreciate it. Now, over to the jury for feedback and scores. Kiran sir, we'll start with you.
Right. Thanks for sharing your presentation and bringing this to us. Well, I'll talk about a few things which stood out to me, and then a few things which I thought were, has some good amount of opportunity for us to kind of cover. Right. First things first. I think you nailed, the fears. Right. So you talked about the whole digital intruder, the reliability gap. I think that shows a deep understanding of why people hesitate to use smart tech. So I think that was definitely good. Your personas, though it was a little thin to me personally, but I thought you were fairly distinct in trying to cover multiple things, right? Somebody who wants control and somebody who wants safety. So I think that was pretty good. And I think you kind of identified the gap in between like app fatigue and lag. I think these were some fairly good pain points which are prevalent in this particular industry of sorts. Now here's a few things that probably I had more questions on, and something for you to go back and think about, right? Firstly, I thought the whole zero friction concept itself is a little vague, right? Sounds more marketing to me than product, right? It sort of doesn't explain how you're going to beat Apple and Google, right? You talked about universal pairing as a solution, but you're not really addressing the massive technical hurdles that are going to come with it, right? APIs, what does Matter do, right? Zigbee, Z-Wave, I don't know whether you're familiar with those concepts, but again, those are things that you might need to kind of consider. Some of the solutions are fairly surface level. I mean, voice overlay is good, but I mean, stable stakes now really isn't a differentiator. And then, the biggest thing that you're trying to overcome with this is there are a lot of people who are actually okay with using different ecosystems, right? It's not a deal breaker as much as you're thinking about it, right? I'm okay with using my LG ecosystems to control all my LG devices. I'm okay using my Philips systems to control all my Philips devices. I'm okay with a Bosch machine having its own like I'm really okay with it. I trust those ecosystems because I know they're fairly closed loop. So I feel that that's one of the things you're not really accounting for. Like, why would you draw a user away from that into this, right? As far as the prototype was given, I mean, it to me personally, I thought it was very intense. I thought it was very overwhelming. Just a minute I looked at it, and my thought was that, okay, this is going to be hard for me to follow. But look, again, I'm old, right? There are folks who are much younger who would have significantly more way to adapt to this. So consider personas by age as well when you think about it. But having said that, I thought the concept was good. It was interesting. It's a little disconnected from reality, right? So I think a little bit more grounding into that would be super helpful. But otherwise, I thought the presentation was really nice. And thank you for taking the time to walk through it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Aruna, I'm sorry if I went on for too long. I'll try and keep it shorter for the next ones.
Doesn't matter at all, sir. Please go ahead. Sir, now if you could kindly give the score for team one on a scale of 1 to 5.
All right, let me pull up the rubric. I had it with me. All right. So in terms of so these are the 5 ones: persona, showcasing deep understanding, user flow, task flow. All right. Persona on a scale of 1 to 5, I would probably give it about 3. I thought there were some gaps, but I thought you could have, but I thought it was fairly decent. Showcasing the deep understanding of the customer types, empathy map. I'd probably give that like about 2.5. I think you did understand some, but there was a lot of opportunity there. The user flow I thought was good. I thought it was really spot on. I give that like a 4.5 and 5. I mean, you had some you captured the nuances really well, so that was good. Task flow with a clear entry point and a successful outcome. I'd probably give it a 3.5 or 4, maybe just go with 4. Prototype I thought was a little dense. So I'd probably give that like a 2.5 on 5. So yeah, so that's my scoring.
Thank you.
Sure, sir. And would you also like to give an overall score for the team, sir, for their entire presentation?
Well, I have to do a bit of math to kind of average it out, but the presentation itself, I thought you all had, I thought was fairly good. I mean, I do think it could have been, you could have led a little bit more with the real world problems in just in a way that kind of lands a little better. I felt it was a little generic. I felt like you were kind of going, you had a flow, you had a structure, but it kind of lacked the depth in some sense, right? I kept hoping you'll go a little deeper every second, but then when I didn't see that, I was like, all right, we'll move on to the next topic. So I mean, overall good. I'd probably give it like a 3.5 on 5. So yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that. Now over to Rajakumar, sir. Would you like to give them the feedback and the scores?
Hey, hi. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for the wonderful presentation. And your apps like Smart Hub app remind me something interesting. So it's close to my head. I'm also working something like that, but not the name itself. So overall presentation wise itself, I think it is very nice, and the structure of the presentation and everything was quite on spot. The thing I would like to give the feedback is so many things was not legible for me. It's like, okay, you have all those flow and everything. The font legibility could be better, nevertheless. But I just wanted to ask some question, if may I allow. Hello.
Of course, sir. Please
Yeah.
go ahead.
So yeah. So my first question would be, most of the users are already comfortable using individual devices app. What strong value proposition will motivate user to switch to your app called Smart Hub app instead of continuing with the existing app? I just want to understand on that front.
So we felt that we would like to have a unified experience as we explored that both Amazon and Apple and Smart Things are having tied up with their own ecosystem, and one odd or a couple of devices are being separate from that ecosystem would be a burden for the user to switch between the apps, etc., like that. So that was our idea to do it. Of course, if people are comfortable with Apple or Smart Things, that they would still stick on with their ecosystem, but they would definitely feel or have an opportunity to have more devices which is not falling under that ecosystem and not necessary to switch between the apps was our main idea to make it a unified experience.
Okay, so from that question, I just want to also the platform like a Google Home, Apple HomeKit, Amazon Alexa. So already they are providing unified smart home control. So what is the differentiator that your app is having? Can you compare these existing ecosystem?
I faced a couple of users saying that they do have these ecosystem bound devices, but they do have certain devices like lights and switches and cameras, which is not to that particular Samsung or Alexa or whatever it is. So we felt that if we are able to do this technical interoperability between all the devices, it would be good for a user to have it in one single app, was our thought process.
Okay. So do you also think in terms of long-term business model or subscription device partnership or platform licensing? Are you thought about that?
We are still into the early stages of it. We wanted to see how our MVP scales up with the features first, and we are to explore all those area.
So my feedback would be like what worked well for you guys is clear problem statement, fragmented smart home ecosystem, good use of design thinking structure like a strategy, scope, like clear selection and skeleton of and surface of out of it. MVP feature are logically prioritized. The improvement could be differentiation from existing smart home platform is not very clear for me, right? Technical feasibility of core brand device integration need more explanation, right? And maybe I don't know the security and privacy strategy mentioned, but not deeply, researched about it. And so that could be done well. Overall, it was very nice presentation and I liked it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, sorry, could you repeat the overall score for the team?
Overall score or maybe
You can give divisions as well as the overall score, sir. Both up to you.
so for me, strategy wise, 3.5 out of 5. Scope could be 4 to give. And the structure that I have seen is 3. Overall skeleton of the presentation 3, and the surface that you mentioned with is 3. So maybe final score could be 3.5, 3.5 for me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, sir.
Okay.
Now let's move forward to Harsh Kumar, sir. Sir, your feedback and scores for the team.
So most of the points have already been touched by Raju and Kiran PK, so I won't like dwell into a lot of things. So just some quick, I won't go into the good parts because we already know like good is the basic one. Let's concentrate on the critical factors. So 2 point, like when Raju said like I want to hear more when you talk about MVP, like the only consideration you are talking into consideration is the user. I want to hear more about the commercials as well as the technical feasibility, which drives the MVP. And I see the only consideration like user. I don't think, yes, for a perfect solution, we need like users, we need the commercials, and we need to have the market scope as well. So this is one point where I want to some more. And one point, like it is too much overwhelming of a presentation. Like you have got all the things. I would have expected like what was the result of you doing this activity rather than you explaining the activity, because we have limited time. Strategy, you said you are going with two personas, but again, when I'm looking at this problem, it's a wider set of problem which needs more than a couple of personas just to target. Like if your company is going to expand on, yes, you will have to start taking multiple personas into consideration while you drive the commercials, right? So I wish strategy and scope could be more improved. So that's the sort of major feedback which I have. Like strategy 3 points, scope 3 points, structure 4, skeleton 4, and the surface 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't know what's the average. I have to use my brain calculator.
No problem, sir. So the overall score you would say would be
It would be 1 second.
Yeah.
It would be 3.
Okay, so thank you so much for that. Now, thank you, team, so much. Now it's time for the audience to cast their vote for the team. So yes, audience, please take out your phones and you can scan the QR code. You can have 20 seconds of time to do so. All right, thank you so much, audience, and for everyone who casted their votes. Now let's look at the results. For communication and articulation, for design presentation, for usage of business and design vocabulary, how powerful the pitch of the futuristic idea is, for showcasing value mapping skills for the chosen business, showcase ability to zoom in and zoom out and paint the holistic view of the business model for the chosen business. Yes, that was the audience poll. Team 1, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time and effort that you've put into this. Now, let's progress to Team 2, Rachna DY, Arpit Pandey, and Rishikesh Prabhudeva.
Thank you so much. I will be sharing the screen.
Sure.
Before that, I will be testing the audio for 1 second. Let me know.
Sure. Once you guys are ready, good to go, please let me know and I can start the timer.
Sure.
And father is 65 right now, and he's having health.
If this video was audible, let me know.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Let me start. 1 second. All right, I'm ready. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us today. We are Arpit, Rachna, and Rishikesh. We are on a mission to give Indian families real peace of mind about their parents' care. Today, we are introducing a product called Care Circle, Coordinated Elder Care for Urban Indian Families. Let me start directly with the problem statement. Now, imagine this for a moment. When something goes wrong, a parent feels unwell, or something goes wrong with the health. You are living in Bengaluru, they are living in Bhopal. In that moment, there's no often trusted verified support that can reliably show up. Families fall back on neighbors if available situation, and Care Circle is designed to exactly fill this gap. About 10% of India's population is age 60 plus, and 1 in 4 elderly live alone with at least one chronic condition. Our vision is to make Care Circle the most trusted and intelligent care coordination platform for remote families. We have 3 core pillars: trust, real-time readiness, and proactiveness. We want to be ready for every emergency situation before that happens so that there's no fatality. We have used 5S design approach: structure, skeleton, surface, scope, and strategy, moving from understanding user to validating flows to delivering a calm, accessible final experience. Now I will talk you through about the customer persona. We have buyer persona. Meet Arav. He's a 30-year-old product manager living alone in Bengaluru. He's originally from Bhopal. He's earning about 22 LPA. I've used BAG framework to better understand the persona. Arav does not like to delegate personal responsibilities. He checks on his parents with a couple of times in a day via WhatsApp and video calls. He wants to know that all the parents' needs are being taken care of and all their medicine information are being managed in one single place. Next, we have user persona. Arun and Kavita, they are the parents of Arav. They are retired, both living in Bhopal, managing their life on their own via pension scheme and investment returns. Digitally, they are comfortable with WhatsApp and video calls and a little bit of Facebook. but new technologies still feel intimidating to them. They would like to communicate in their regional language. They trust doctors, but also trust desi nuskhas, home remedies, and WhatsApp forwards. With that context, Rachna will take us through the customer interviews.
Thanks, Arpit. Let me start by walking you through the how we approach the customer interviews. So we ran deep one-on-one interviews with the NRIs, busy caregivers, exploring their anxiety, daily care routines, emergency gaps, whether they are able to pay for the dependable support or not. So in the next slide, before I interpret anything, I want you to hear them. They're raw, unfiltered, and real.
And father is 65 right now, and he's having health issues, which he's not telling me right now, that he's facing those health issues. I'm trying to avoid crying, but it hurts when Indian parents think that their health is not important. And I'm requesting all the parents that their kids loves them. They should be honest about their health, because बहुत दिल दुखता है जब माँ बाप बताते नहीं है कि उनको कोई तकलीफ है. बच्चों को फर्क पड़ता है. You have to start telling. Trust me, you have to start telling.
So now based on our customer experience, it shows how we design the customer experience around the highest severity pain points. Those are the emergency response, the trust, and the real-time visibility. So for the remote child, we give WhatsApp-like visibility, instant reassurance, and the transparent logs. But for the elderly parent, we ensure the low digital friction, dignity, and non-intrusive support, local language human support, and low friction with 15 minutes emergency response as a hard target. So from the next slide, from our empathy map, it captures our target user, working adult children who feel emotionally responsible for their parents' health, but powerless in a day-to-day care. They say accountability and trust are broken, feel constant guilty and anxiety, think responsibility without control is failure, and ending up manual workloads and fear fighting in every crisis. So for our competitive landscape, so existing players give basic checks and fragmented coordination with almost no accountability and escalation workflow or audit logs. But here in Care Circle is the only one that owns the structured accountability layer. Multi-layer verification is there, and accountability, the OTP check-in and check-out, one-tap escalation, full timeline. So well, reassurance and follow through, not just isolated visits. So our next slide shows our MVP, a simple end-to-end flow where families discover the platform, onboard securely, create a care circle, coordinate daily updates, and handle emergency with one-tap alerts and monitor overall care quality, focused on transparency, trust, and emergency response. So I will walk you through the user customer journey map now. So that shows how we move the families from anxiety to reassurance. So across these 5 stages are around, and here we just go from one by one, which is the discover, onboard, create circle, and coordinate and emergency. By tackling specific pain points at each step, designing features that systematically reduce fear, friction, and uncertainty. So on the next slide, that end-to-end care circle journey, from raising a care request, assigning the coordinators, and capturing the updates to branching into normal care, alert the escalation or emergency response. So every path leads to a clear trackable outcome for the family. With that, I'll pass it on to the Rishikesh to present the low fidelity for prototype.
Thank you, Rasana. So we begin with a low fidelity prototyping to answer one of the core questions. Are we solving the problem in the right flow? Before investing in a polished design, Balsamic helped us to validate key journeys like onboarding, care, coordination, updates, and emergency support. Once we were confident about the structure, we brought the care circle to life through a high fidelity interactive prototype. This was a moment the product stopped feeling like an idea and started feeling real. As you can see on the screen, we designed multiple connected screens across the MVP journey, from onboarding, the profile setup, to care logs, medication management, coordinators, and emergency alerts. The prototype is fully interactive, so it shows not only just the screens look like, but also how the experience flows. We designed it around the Jacob Nielsen's UX principles to ensure it feels intuitive, trustworthy, and easy to use in an emotionally sensitive moment. Let me quickly walk you through the Care Circle mobile prototype from the user point of view. So let's quickly walk you through the Care Circle. The journey begins with a simple and welcoming, like with having a mobile OTP verified, and then
the journey begins with a simple and welcoming onboard experience where the user understands the Care Circle does how it feels, or save the profile and you can continue that. Yeah, so the journey begins with a simple and welcoming onboarding experience where the journey understands what Care
Rishikesh, you have
Circle,
3 minutes left. Thank
yeah,
you.
sure, and how it helps remote families care from their elderly parents. From there, like you can actually see on the onboarding screen, so there is an emergency toggle button. So the emergency flow was designed to be fast, clear, and dependable because in those moments, user need action, not complexity. So we also have a care circle toggle button, so which helps us directly connect through phone and the WhatsApp messages. And we also have a care coordination services are delivered where the app real time, the users can request or book a visit or connect with the verified care partners, medication, appointments, documents, and wellness overview. In terms of a record, we do have like all the critical records maintained under one section, which also can be shared via WhatsApp and things like that. So overall, the mobile prototype and also the profile part, which also gives us a very clear picture of the individual profile, the emergency contact, the family members, and the notification sections and the privacy part. So going on to the next slide, which was we created a landing page. The main intention of creating a landing page was to how do we communicate within seconds? Because Care Circle is not a casual product. Families are trusting us with care of their parents. So the landing page was designed to clearly communicate the value proposition or emotional reassurance and credibility of the platform. Along with the app experience, we also built a website mockup to show how K-Circle would exit as a broader digital product ecosystem. Due to the considering the time limit, so the video on this slide demonstrates the working mockup and how users can navigate the key sections like trust, okay, coordinators, and service understanding. This is an important because not and we do believe that not every user starts with an app. So many first discover the brand through the website. So in short, the app delivers the care experience while the website helps us to explain and sell that experience. So going on to the product roadmap. So CareCircle roadmap built like product itself with empathy and discipline. When we start with Q1 by building the trust through MVP, onboarding CareCircle updates or emergency alerts, in Q2, we convert that trust into sustainable value through subscriptions and service clarity. In Q3, we optimize for retention and scale. And in Q4, we move into intelligent differentiation. Though this roadmap is really a journey from solving a family's immediate anxiety to building future of proactive care. A pilot shows the MVP outcome and the feedback. So our pilot shows that the case circle value is real. Families felt less anxious with transparent updates. Emergency workflows built the trust, and OTP verification improved the credibility. Just as importantly, the feedback gave us discretion to improve summaries and reduce alerts and fatigue. So the next slide shows us some of the tools which were used in the capstone from ideation to prototyping.
Rishikesh, your time is
Yeah,
up, but you can have 30 seconds additional to
yeah.
wrap up that thought.
Sure. Finally, CareCircle is more than a product. It is a peace of mind designed through trust, transparency, and thoughtful care coordination. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
we're
so
done.
much,
Thank you so
team, for
much.
that. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Now, over to the juries for the feedback and the overall score. May I kindly start with Kiran sir?
All right. No, thank you for this lovely presentation. I think you've touched upon a very deep human need, and the level of empathy that you brought to this presentation, I think, is absolutely fantastic. The thought behind it is beautiful. I think it touches an emotional chord to all of us Indians. So, thank you for thinking this through, right? I mean, I'll start with the good overall. I mean, one, like I already said, the level of empathy and the empathy mapping in itself that you've done for this, I thought was pretty good. It was fantastic, actually. I think the whole, the personas that you brought in, I thought those were really, really strong. And I think you've kind of correctly identified that the child is the buyer, right? And it's not anyone else really who's going to be doing that. So I think being able to differentiate very categorically between who the buyer is and who actually is the final this one, I thought that was very well done. I thought the market positioning was fairly crisp. I thought it was very intelligent, very smart, right? I like the competitive matrix was really, really good. I thought you did a pretty good job on that. It's one of those things where, at least in my mind, when I read this, it was that, look, you're not trying to beat Practo at doctors. You're not trying to beat WhatsApp at accountability. You're really trying to make something which is very, very tangible to a lot of people, which I thought was very, very well positioned in that sense. The deck in itself, I mean, personally speaking, I thought was very well done. It was very visually very strong. It was very crisp, very clear. It got a little overwhelming towards the end, but I'm guessing when you have a lot of things to cover, those things do tend to happen, so it's fine. Now, here's where I thought there was some, I wouldn't call them major gaps, but I thought here was some opportunity areas we need to look at, right? Now, when you look at a market like this, right? And I think you already identified this in some sense. Your MVP lists, add members and add helpers as a primary step, right? Now, in reality, getting people to sign up for this with their relatives or even neighbors and this, that, and the other, you need download an app, join a circle. I think that's a massive friction point, right? If the circle doesn't work, the product is incomplete, right? And that's the gap that I'm trying to see out here. There is a ground reality which you also have to kind of come to terms with. You have, of course, things like, multi-layer verification, all your badges for caregivers. Now, when you think about this India's fragmented labor market, right? This is going to be very difficult and very expensive to scale. And that's the reality of it, right? How are you going to do all of these background checks? Is it manual? Is it like, how do I know the person that is there on that is actually trusted and verified and so on, right? And how do you do this at scale, right? So I think to me that was a bit of a gap that was there. I thought your emergency flow, which you kind of showed, emergency detection, the way it happens, and the coordinator contact services. There's a lot of middleman that's kind of included in this. Now, when you have critical illnesses during a heart attack or a fall, any other kind of blunt force trauma that happens to anyone, why would you not connect this to the nearest hospital instead of contacting it through a middleman of sorts? I mean, something to think about, right? I'd rather that it went there rather than to somebody who would then contact somebody, then who would again connect with somebody who then somewhere in this thing, if nobody's around, the whole thing breaks, right? So I think that's something to think about, right? Trust is a two-way street. So, you kind of make sure that you're going to put the child's trust on the platform, the parents' trust on the platform. You're also making sure you're putting an outsider's trust on the platform. So there's a whole lot of trust which needs to be put in. So you need to make sure that you're covering and addressing for that. But again, your responsibility and revenue aspect of it, which you kind of talked about, I think the tiered subscription model, I think, is good, right? But I think what might be interesting for you to address at some point in time is, what already exists today from a marketplace standpoint, where you kind of taking a cut of the care that you're offering, versus do you want to go down this as a SaaS model over a period of time where you're charging for the coordination tool itself? Both have good revenue implications, both have good scalability, but again, just think about what is the more practical aspect of it. Your USP could be more on the coordination framework in itself, right? Which to me, I thought was more interesting than the other model that you kind of provided. But look, if I had to score this personas on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give this probably like a 4.5. I thought they were pretty good, especially the interviews were. I mean, I'm sure we didn't play all of those things, but I thought they were pretty good. So 4 or 5 on that. User flows could have been a little better, but I would still give it like about 3.5 on 5. Task flows I thought was pretty good. You did a pretty good job on that. So about 4 out of 5. And then last but not least, your prototype, I thought was a little, I thought your prototype was a little dated to look at, Right, just visually, I understand that you're trying to give it that feel of that slight medical feel, the slight emergency. I know what you were going for. I could see it. I could see it in the colors, as most designers would do, right? But it was a little dense. I thought there was too much information. It was a little heavy. I looked at it for somebody who's using it in an emergency. It's going to be hard to navigate something like that. So it's something to think about. And but overall, look, I absolutely love the idea. It's a smashing idea. I think you can actually make this into something very, very real. It does have potential. So the ability to take this from your deck to the market, I think it has a great deal of potential. Work out those kinks, and I think you have. I do think you have a real winner here. So
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely, sir. Thanks for your feedback. We'll and work on the other feedbacks.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I don't know. That's all I have from you.
The overall score again.
Oh, overall score. I'd give this like a 4.5 maybe. I thought it was definitely. I mean, the reason I'm giving it that high overall is because I do think this can be very, very real, right? I mean, you have a lot of things to work on. Yes, granted, I know you were doing this for this presentation, but look, I mean, but there is thought in it. There is opportunity. So I definitely give it a 4.5 on 5.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much. Thank you, sir, for that. Now, can we hear from Harsh Kumar, sir?
So again, 2 points which Kiran sir already touched base on. Like I used to like someone calls me like what skill a designer should have, and I'm always like just empathy. You shouldn't be a psychopath. That's all. That's all you need to be a designer. So yes, you brought a lot of empathy into like the strategy part, how you have done the user research, and I love the scoping part as well. I like the strategy part as well. Found the whole flow a bit disconnected, going back and forth towards like, okay, what should be the scoping and then the prototypes, probably. So yeah, strategy 4 on 5, scoping 4 on 5. On the structure, I still feel it could have been a bit more improved on the structure and the skeleton. So 3 and 5 and 3 and 5 on both, and also on the surface 3 on 5. But I want to appreciate on the quick points that I like the way how you did the empathy mapping, and you have not just how do you say like uh, went in the user story just by talking to users or the research. You have done the empathy mapping and you have broadened the user research a bit more. So I love the idea. I like how you have scoped out the thing in the future. But yes, it could have been a bit more connected in the overall flow. But overall, 4 on 5.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We'll work on your feedback.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. Now, can we hear from Rajkumar, sir?
Hey, hi. Thank you so much for the presentation, and it was structured presentation, and that you use very good imagery, and everything was spot on. And the main part I liked about that you put the video, and then I really connected that. And nowadays, everybody have their old parents and someone old their grandparents, and everybody is suffering from all those things. So I would like to ask a couple of questions, and then I'll give you my feedback. So my question would be, in actual emergency moment, what is the fastest possible user action in your system, and how many steps does it take? So because see, right now, see, you're talking about the emergency and everything. So I just wanted to understand what is that fastest possible action that user can take, and how many steps that involves.
So initially, we thought to like partner with some of the local ambulance services and things like that. So I think like there is also a Blinkit which has already been left with like a 10-minute ambulance service. like that. But considering like the situation, so we have been like trying to understand how we can do this with connecting to local hospitals and having them incorporated to the system along with them. So which would be like easier for us. Like as soon as like an emergency toggle button is tapped up, so and like a message or a notification will go to an SOS number or the first contact number, and also to the nearest hospital number, like the hospital care, and they would arrange us an ambulance, and a verified trusted care coordinator would come up with following certain steps of like the like a step of verification which we are planning to do it, like having a badge or like body cams and things like that, which comes under like again some of the technical specifications which we are planning to do it. So
Okay. Okay. So for this, in your app, works well. Scenario is you are given an emergency toggle is strong.
Yeah.
Design decision, but I would love to see show time to action, and maybe step reduction compared to existing solution that we have right now. So if
okay.
that could be the scenario, I would love to see that. And I would love to ask, what is your solution of the caregiver? You're given a caregiver solution, family service provider. How does that platform ensure the coordination across these stakeholder without creating any complexity?
Yeah. So I would like to answer this. So, sir, what we are trying to solve is organize things. We already have solution. We already have emergency. We already have neighbors who can help us. So this is more of a organizational system where there is one person dedicated for you. Whenever you need help, when you are tapping that emergency toggle, that person is responsible for arranging everything that you need in that moment. So it is that sort of collaboration approach. So we will be connected with, for example, if you need medical tests, we will be having collaboration with testing providers like ThyroCare, etc. We will be collaborating with Religare SRL or insurance companies. If you need like emergency ambulance services, then we will be collaborating with Blinkit. We will be collaborating with nearest hospitals in that region. So that is our thought process, and we would be starting with one city, for example. We are starting with Bengaluru, then we will slowly, upscale it once we have solved enough problems in that city. So that is the thought process. We are not replacing anything. We are just organizing bits and pieces which is already available in the market, and there will be one person responsible who will be solving any issues when in need.
So okay. So overall feedback for my side, what works well is strong problem framing, that NRI and remote caregiver, good user research direction, I would say, interviews and everything that you have shown, each and everything, and clear map out the journey map inside the what is the step that you have given. Emergency interaction concept is meaningful, right? Prototype covers multiple flow, end-to-end, that kudos on that. And what could be done better is need more evidence from research insight. So I'm a research person. I need evidence on that, right?
Yeah.
Competitive landscape clarity should be there, and service layer explanation to actually deliver care. So I have asked the question on that also. And one more also things there, I haven't seen trust mechanism should be beyond whatever the UI you have done. So I just wanted to see those part, right?
Okay.
So I can give overall marks on this. It could be 3.9 I would give overall.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
That Rajkumar sir. Now, Harsh Kumar sir, if you could kindly repeat the score that you gave for the team again. There was a small glitch there.
4.
4.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you so much. All right, now it's time for the audience poll. Just a quick second there. All right, audience, please go ahead, scan the QR code. You can have 20 seconds for the same. And please go ahead, cast your votes. All right. Thank you so much, audience, for casting your vote. Let's take a look at the results. Yeah. Here are the results for communication and articulation, design presentation, usage of business and design vocabulary, how powerful the pitch of futuristic idea is, showcasing value mapping skills for the chosen business, showcasing ability to zoom in and zoom out and paint the holistic view of the business model for the chosen business. That's all. Thank you so much, Team 2. Really appreciate that.
Thank you, Aruna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aruna. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
Now we can progress to Team 3, Saurav Sarkar, Shweta Tandon, Divya SN. Whenever you guys are ready, do let me know and I'll start the time.
Divya, you're not audible. Divya? You're not audible, Divya.
The team, I think Divya has left the meeting. Is she still here? Would you
Yeah,
guys like to
Aruna, I
call her?
think she has some technical issues.
Technical
Can you
issues,
give
yeah.
2 more minutes, please?
All right. I'll do something else instead. Taruni, are you good to go now?
Okay, I'll go ahead then. Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Divya is back. Let's see if
Okay.
she's able to present it now. Divya, you're not audible. Do you want to exit and maybe join again? And meanwhile, Taruni can take over?
Aruna, I think let's start with Taruni. She's having some technical issues.
Sure. Taruni, are you okay with that? Are you comfortable to start now?
Yeah, it should be fine. It should be okay. Yeah.
Great. Now I can give you a couple more seconds to get ready, start sharing your screen, and whenever you're ready, I can start the timer.
Just a minute. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Taruni. Okay, we can start. Yes, hi, I'm Taruni, and I'm from the cohort PM 2025 J batch. So this is also, I'm an auto insurance, tired payer of an insurance for, for your vehicle. So yes, I come for that product now, Flux, an insurance that moves with you. So, yes, now today we see auto insurance infrastructure. It is practically like, most of us pay when we go for, to get a refund or we want to claim for our car scratches or dent. We don't get approval, or we don't get approval, immediate approval, or we don't get approval. And due to which our premium, what we pay for the year for our vehicles, it is not properly utilized, or it's never utilized. And if you are a good driver like me, or occasional driver like me, then I don't think so you can even, get your premium back. So how to do that? How can we save ourselves? That is where the Flux comes. It is an auto insurance app that addresses your problem. It is actually a dynamic active driving partner. It talks about flow pricing. What is flow pricing? Is that whenever you want to go out, you can have a insurance. It's something like pay per trip, pay the insurance for your trip, and if something happens, then yes, you can claim it. It won't it be good that your insurance also, your app, it's a mobile app, and it tells you that going out right now would be difficult, maybe due to rains, maybe due to some dharna happening, or due to traffic congestion, or due to festivals. There could be a lot of congestion on the roads. So this app also helps you to, address your traffic problems, your weather related problems in the cities, like in Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, where, a small rain will cause your traffic jam. It will also give you an alert whether you really want to go out or not. It helps you to make decision. And also, you can form a group with your, community members. It could be your building apartment members, or it can a gated community. And if you can all be together and not each other when you are not driving safely, and also get some cashbacks when you are driving safely, and also getting it used for, repairing, maybe for engine oil repair, or, cleaning your car service, something like that, where you can redeem those cashbacks. So that is where this Flux app comes. So okay, though these are the findings. I had interviewed with my fellow members, who are fellow members means my colleagues and my classmates who are spread across India in Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, NCR, and Hyderabad. So I interviewed 25 plus vehicle owners, okay, between the age of 21 to 45. Some of my relatives also, who are very much interested in driving, and they get a lot of scratches and dents. So I got to interview them. I also did a bit of an analysis. Do we have these kind of apps present currently across the different platforms? No, they only do a little bit later. They don't provide you as like paper trip at the speed of your Blinkit. So these do not address. So that's where it comes over here. And when on interviewing, we identify three type of personas. That is a regular driver persona, and which includes like someone like millennials and Gen Zs, or regular drivers who expect transparency, who just needs an immediate solution for their problem. An occasional driver like me, who goes to office in the office cabs, and they don't want to pay premium, big premium. They just want to pay when they go out. And the safe drivers are the group of people in the tribe where, they can they can save themselves from the reckless drivings of the other. How can they get, cash? I mean, they will be gifted with the cashback if they are driving safely. So these are the three different personas identified. And yes, okay, I would like to talk about the user flow journey map over here. What is the trigger whether the with the regular driver is, see, when the incident happens, obviously I don't want to call up a customer care service center and explain everything how the accident happened or not. Just when you open this app, you hit on that I need help, and you can just take photographs. Open the Flux app, you can hit hit on that I have been hit, and you can ask for your mobile cam to take the photos. It will take photos in different angles, and the processing takes place within 3 minutes, and immediately within the 3 minutes, whatever damages are there below or up to 1500 rupees, it can be credited to your wallet. That is Flux wallet, like we have Amazon wallet or Paytm wallet. So something like that it is. So immediate resolution, and you can utilize that money in into your repair shop. You can go to repair shop into a garage and get it immediately sorted. This is for the regular driver. It could be anyone from a cab driver to a regular driver. Anyone. This can be utilized across different people who regularly use cabs or regularly use vehicles, two-wheeler or four-wheeler. Okay, sorry, I'm stuck. Okay. Yeah, this is the user flow journey. I would try to explain it via when I'm showing my app. I'll show the demo of the app. And the occasional driver. This is another persona of occasional driver who is like, they're paying heavy premium, but they're not getting utilized properly. So what is that's a big pain point. So how someone like, who goes out when and when required, and that time, if I can
Aruna,
compare
you
with
have
Uber or Ola,
3 minutes
yeah.
left. Thank you.
Yes, okay. And when I compare it with Uber or Ola, then I just wanted to know how much is my insurance cost. So let me go to the app now. I'll also explain the tribe persona. Okay, just a minute. Let me hit the prototype. Okay, this is the app. It can be used across your mobile apps. This is just a screen of it. As I said, there are three different personas. So if I'm a regular vehicle user and I can hit app that I've been hit on this tag, on this tab, and I can take the photographs on different views. Capture one photo. We'll capture three photos over here. And yes, we use the AI component over here. It does the analysis. You can hit on the details, the claim number, the photos that is submitted. It says what has been the impact, what is the assessment. Then yes, once you will also see that the approved amount, you can get it the deposit. The deposit will be into your Flux wallet. This is one persona. The other persona, as I was telling, for an occasional driver, suppose I'm planning for a trip. It also uses a GPS. It picks up your current location. So suppose I pick up this is my destination. I go on to the rush hour. So it's a plus 9.6 rupees on your insurance. What's the base rate? Plus on the base rate is this is the premium price. Then the estimated cost is 48 rupees, which is, if I get a detailed quote, if I compare it with my Uber, I am saving, Uber cost you 528 rupees. If I drive and I use this auto insurance app, Flux, then it is this much cheaper. It compares the price. It's a decision of the user if whether they would like to go, they want to drive or they want to take Uber. If they would like to drive on their own and take this auto insurance, start this trip. This is integrated with your car speed and all. It looks into it. It talks about how much speed you have used, what is the coverage time, and it gives you a score. Okay, and it will charge you the price for that. Okay, you can pay it via different ways of payment, and you will also get a receipt. Okay, that is also there. You can go back to the dashboard, and the final persona I would like to talk about is the
Tarani, so
same
sorry,
driver.
your time is up. You can have 30 seconds more to wrap up the final thought.
Yeah, final persona is of that of a tribe, where, as I said, all are in one building, apartment, or in a gated community. You can club together and you can be a tribe. And if someone is not driving properly, you can, for example, this is my group, and you can see Saraswati has done something. She has not she has not driven in this week properly. So we send out her a nudge saying that you need to drive carefully so that we can save we can get some good scores, and we can get some cash back, because already we have a cash back of a pool is there, 1850. This can be used. So this is how we can nudge the fellow members, and, and get the money, get the cashback benefits. There is another way of this also, do sending a nudge to your members. You can see your score. How do you stand within the group? Pardon me. Yes, you can also view the
Tarani,
leadership.
time is up, I'm
Yeah.
afraid.
Yes, this is about the.
Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Now let's progress to the feedback from jury. Let's start with Harsh Kumar, sir. Would you like to begin?
Uh, yes. First of all, it was like the overall presentation, it was very difficult to grasp on everything. It was a bit broken. I don't think the flow was that much coherent that everyone could understand. First of all, we are having to look at four problems in 10 minutes and looking at all the judgment. It gets very difficult if the flow is not in the right direction. And I feel like there's a lot of things missing it out on the strategy and scope. I won't go down into deep all on the deeper aspect, like how you're going to verify the imagery, because there's yes monetary parts involved. Uh, but yes, I feel there's a lot of work which needs to be done on the strategy and scope. We I couldn't grasp like what is happening with the even the final designs exactly. So I think you had to jump. So probably there was no thinking on the scope prioritization, like how you're going to scope it out. What does your MVP look like? Where do so like something in general, a suggestion like when we are doing competitive analysis, we do it for two purposes, right? One is to like obviously improve what we have, but what is my feature or what is my advantage over the other competitor, right? Rather than like, okay, I know we have done competitive analysis, but what is the crux of you doing the competitive analysis? That what is the exact feature set on which you're going to or on which factor you're going to defeat your particular partners on the commercial angles. So I also want to see a bit of crunch of that. Like, yes, these are some of the things apart from just saying, yes, we did competitive research. So,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If I have 1 second, I can maybe show what is the plan, how the release of the product can be.
okay,
I'm
sure,
not
sure.
sure if that is possible.
Yeah, just show me. No worries. But I want to
Yeah.
have
Okay.
you have put this thinking into the process.
Okay. Basically on the see, I see it as like, releasing in a phased manner. So we can just get the first, approval from the customers, get the trust from the customers. What is this app about? Talking about different, like, for example, the two personas can first come to, like, first regular users with the regular drivers, and how we are, building the trust. This is not possible with the other, pay auto insurance apps, even for the small damages. So we can start first MVP talks about building trust with your customer base. It could be, timeline for 0 to 3 months, up to 3 months, or up to 4 months. We can do this. In the next goal is when I'm talking about tribes, where people, different friends, your friends or your neighbors can come together. So this talks about lowering of your customer acquisition cost, because already you have developed trust. People are understanding what is your app. So they form a group. So once they form a group, obviously they understand the, if someone is not driving properly, it's a gamified. So if they nudge and they say that, come on friend, you have to drive properly. Not only that, you're getting a cashback over here, which can be utilized for other purposes, your engine oil change, or for your painting of your car or your vehicle. That can be utilized. And the third one is, as I said, it would be great, right, where your auto insurance app talks about your safety in a proactive manner. So that will be done in your yearly release. So this is talks about the differentiation from the other auto apps, auto insurance payment services. They don't provide all these. So these are some different advantages that we have over the other auto insurance groups.
Okay. Thank you for this. So shall I post my final score?
Yes, please, sir.
Once again, it would be around 2.5.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Sir, so sorry, did I miss the overall score, sir, or do you want Tarun to continue?
It's 2.5, like any Raju or Kiran can continue.
Okay, and your final score would be, overall score would be 4.5.
No, 2.5.
2.5. So sorry, 2.5. Great, great. Thank you. So, yes, thank you so much for that, sir. Now, Raju Kumar, sir, would you like to take over?
Hey, hi, thank you so much. Thank you for presentation. Yeah, so overall presentation was nice. I see this is a real problem that we face, day to day. And I'll straight away come to the question 2 to 3 question I have very. Does this solution require any telematic or maybe smartphone sensor or car integration? That what
Yes.
is the simplest manifest implementation? Okay.
Car integration, as you've seen in the plan your trip, when occasional driver or when you are working with your tribe, as with the group members, it talks about, like, so one of my group member was not driving properly, right? So this app is integrated on the speedometer of every vehicle or in your group, or if I'm as an occasional driver also, it rates my driving based on that. If suppose I'm going more than 100 or more than 80 on a highway, so yeah, so based on that, so scoring will come. And to identify whether the accidents what are happening are the genuine or not, you can understand, right, based on the speed, based on the driving, based on the weather, where we are also talking about the AI co-pilot to be present in the app. It talks about I'm going in a rainy season, I'm driving on a rainy season, and still there is some problem with my engine, and I'm not able to drive properly, or I'm claiming an insurance. So that's where, yes, it is integrated with the system overall.
I come to the question number second. What happened? Okay, you'll use a co-pilot or AI assistant, all those things. So what happened in area where no internet or poor internet connectivity while driving, tracking driving uses? So how will you tackle these kind of issue or problem in your?
Okay, for the scope of that problem is, it is for the tier 1 and tier 2 cities, not at the remote areas, not for the remote area city or village usage. Yeah, there is a limit for this app. There is. Yeah, but
so many places that you're driving, and these are the drivers who go very far, the uses of that. vehicle is so long. So maybe the internet problem happens. So do you
Hmm.
thing in your mind, or also
Hmm.
how do you also prevent
Hmm.
use? For example, driver or user disabling the tracking to avoid the charges, or how you manage all those things. Do you think about that? All this.
Like manipulation of the
Of course,
uh,
yeah. They'll disable
app.
the tracking to avoid the charges.
Hmm.
Do you
But
what about this?
if they disable, then I think they will be not. I mean, they are at loss, right? If something happens, for example, I'm an occasional driver, and if I disable it, maybe I don't want to pay 40 rupees for my premium. I just don't. I want to claim only 20 rupees. I want to just pay 20 rupees. Then I will, and in the meantime, if I get hit, I think that would be a loss, right? If we look in that angle, I think that could be that could be one of the issues.
Okay.
It, hmm,
So my last question would be, why would insurance company adopt this kind of model instead of continuing with traditional and annual premium? Why they pay per use, or maybe for this model they'll use it instead of
hmm. So this isn't a disruption thought. This isn't say this. Maybe there could be a resistance in the beginning. Okay, to understand what is the utility in the beginning. Yes, it's like pay per use. Just pay for your usage insurance premium, right? Even for the railway travel, aeroplane travel, we do have these kind of insurances. So maybe there could be initial hiccups, but when people understand what is the benefit, I think it will slowly pick up the on the traditional way of your annual premium vehicle charges, because some your vehicle is lying on the parking lot. It's just there, and it's a dead investment. Everyone understands that auto insurance is a dead investment.
Okay.
If you regularly usage, if there is a regular usage only, then
These kind of services anywhere in outside country, anywhere in European country, or maybe. So, do you have any example out of it that you have done this study? Do you have any insights to share, or maybe research
no,
insights?
I when yeah, may not of out of India, within India, with my colleagues and relatives, what when we were discussing that they don't see for small paint chip off, when there are small scratches, they always complained, we are not able to, we can pay from our pocket, but the garage cost is, every time high for this kind of, branded cars and all. They don't, not everyone likes to pay out of their pocket, right? We are paying premium. If someone, auto insurance company can help us out with the premium, my premium also get utilized, and I'm also as a user, I'm happy. So
Okay.
it I'm not seen on out of India, but yeah, within India, this problem still exists.
Okay. So my final feedback would be, what works well for you is, you clearly identify the efficiency of fixed premium, or for low usage driver, and maybe
Hmm.
the relevant real world comparison, like a comparing insurance cost versus ride hailing service like a Ola, helps contextualize the decision user make, right?
Hmm.
For me, if it could be better, if showed or tell me, it is not yet clearly for me, it is how insurance will sustain profitably with the fixed users based on the pricing.
Hmm.
The mechanism for the tracking driving behavior or the
Hmm.
display was not fully explained. So uh, that could be the part could have been.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, as I said, it has to be integrated with your car. It's more of an engineering aspect. It's more of a mechanical and engineering aspect where we have to work with the engineers and identify the sensors, how and it can be identified. I mean, what speed it goes and all,
Okay.
how much brakes has been applied. That everything calculation has to be there. At what speed level. So I think it's more of like, yes, your mechanical again, the sensor, it has to be in track. So it is more, more of work of integrating this app and with the sensors of the car sensors.
Okay.
That is what I understand. So you have to work with engineers, both mechanical and your electrical and computer engineers, different kind of engineers you have to work to develop this app.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so I'll come to the end. I'll give you a score, and it would be 2.5.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Rajkumar sir. Now, Kiran sir, if you would like to take over and give the Renee feedback and scores.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, Harsh and Raju have covered this at depth beautifully, but I'll try and be as forthcoming as I can. What I liked about it was, you identified two really interesting concepts, right? You identified the whole weekend car concept, which I thought was very insightful. Yes, the urban car typically sits idle for about 5 days a week. That's true, right? The pay-as-you-go model it's a legitimate market for sure, right? And those who need versus those who need insurance 365 days a year. Now that problem hasn't been solved very well, right? At an industry level, right? So I think you went after that in a good way. So I thought that was good. I like the hyper local hazards thing that you kind of talked about, right? The active co-pilot, I think, was interesting for potholes and waterlogging and all of this stuff. I think it's a very strong industry specific feature. I think you're using data to kind of warn people about, hey, you're stuck in Silk Board, so there's a flooding going to happen in Mumbai, which often happens during the season. So I think those are very legitimate problems. So the concept foundation, I think, was fairly good, right? But that is where it starts to break after that. Pretty much everything starts to fall apart from here, right? To give you perspective, I thought the math that you had was totally off. And I think, Raju touched upon it, Harsh touched upon it as well briefly. Your whole concept of there is a false equivalency here, right? You don't choose between insurance and Uber, right? You choose between, driving your own car, which has fuel and maintenance and parking and insurance, right? And Uber, right? So, so 48 rupees versus 300 rupees, it really isn't a comparison. And that is basically deceptive marketing, right? It's not a product insight. So you need to be very, very careful about how you position it. The other thing is, there is a liability, your whole clearing your liability in 3 minutes. In India, it never clears in 3 minutes, right? If a two-wheeler hits you from behind, they might still blame you. Now, if something else happens, then, if somebody else hits you from somewhere, I mean, like nobody's going to sit down and, who's going to sit down and fight with you on the road on that, right? So to me, that whole logic is very, very flawed. Now, if kind of AI incorrectly kind of approves a claim where the user was actually at fault, the company loses money. If it rejects it, then the instant payout promise is broken, right? So you're claiming that you'll settle in 3 minutes, right? That whole thing won't happen. So you're kind of making a promise which you don't even know whether you can keep, right? So to me, that is a major flaw in the product. And that's going to happen for 90% of the cases, right? Now, this whole Paisa Vasool paradox, you're talking about tribes and so on and so forth. I think that's kind of a social nightmare, if you ask me, right? Now, if I'm on a tribe with 5 people and I have a genuine accident, I'm the person who basically lost everyone's cash back, right? Going by the logic you've put in. Now, this discourages honest claims and creates a very toxic user experience, right? So you want to be really mindful about how and again, I don't know if this is really worth that kind of tribe thing that you're kind of building, right? Hey guys, just apologize for this. Just give me 1 second, please. Hey, apologies for this, the distraction. Yeah, so for me, this whole Pesa Vasool paradox that you're bringing in with the tribes, I don't know whether that really works, right? So, like, these are things which are fairly, it looks more like performative marketing rather than a product to me, really, right? So I worry about the whole pricing thing. And again, you talk about your technical moat as well, and I think Harsh touched upon this really well, right? And even Raju touched upon this. How is your AI vision really handling fraud? Right? What stops me from taking a photo that happened on a crash that happened 6 months ago and I'm claiming it as a fresh incident today? Right? There really isn't anything that's going to prevent that. Right? And again, when you talk about even liability, right? Like in the Indian context, a lot of liability is a legal and police matter most of the time. Right? So how does your app like really claim to clear this, without without an FIR, or sometimes there's a need of a surveyor that needs to come in and do all of that. So you need to think about, again, I understand, I know you made a statement which you're talking about, yeah, this is a disruptive product, right? But I don't really see, and you talked about a lot of the telemetry, meaning like it has to integrate with this, you need to talk to the engineering team. The intent of building good products is you come up with something which is a little more tangible in many ways, right? Which means I'm able to actually take this and I'm actually able to move forward with it in a way that allows an actual problem to be solved, right? Now forget about the design, like the app in itself, I mean, you can use a Figma Make or a Lovable to generate beautiful prototypes which are on par with the industry. Like, all that is great, right? Which I'm sure you did. I mean, if I look at that, it screams AI, right? Which is okay. I love that. But you're not actually solving a problem in a way that's very, very tangible, right? You're not solving a problem in a way that builds trust, that builds credibility, and that actually allows you to solve a problem in a way that perhaps hasn't actually been solved before, right? There's a difference between good products and then there's performative marketing. This is somewhere in between that, right? I'm not saying everything is performative marketing. I'm not saying everything is not. It lies somewhere in between, right? And I think the last thing, when you think about it, and especially for the older generation trying to use this, right? I love my insurance. I'm just saying, right? If I could pay twice as much insurance to keep my vehicle safe, I would do it, right? Because it has my family in it, my kids are in it. There's just a lot of stuff associated with that. You can't get enough of insurance. For the Gen Zs, which is now arguably the market that's really buying a lot of these insurances, you talk about tracking users' location 24/7. That's a massive privacy concern for the Gen Z user who hates being monitored, right? I mean, so my daughter, she's Gen Alpha, right? I can't even, if I just ask her where she is, I'm going to get burned that day, right? And I don't know how Gen Zs are even more further down the road. So it's going to be very difficult for you to manage their privacy concerns. So again, when I kind of take a look at this overall, you've identified a great problem, the idle car, but your solution sort of relies on a magic AI, right? Which is it kind of bypasses the hardest parts of insurance, fraud, and liability. Now, until you can actually explain how an app handles a constant accident at Silkboard Junction, like I called out earlier, without a surveyor, this is a nice UI concept, and it's not a product, right? So again, take this with a grain of salt, because and I think Raju had some wonderful feedback. Harsh had some wonderful feedback. There's something to think about here, right? And I do see this with a lot of product managers as well, and a lot of product folks coming in. You have to understand how the real world works, and you have to understand how AI works. AI will not work in a system where there's no infrastructure, right? If nothing exists, AI will not magically create that island for you. It'll connect the bridge for you. It'll create the bridge for you between two islands that exist, but it will not create the island for you. So I think there's a lot of magic AI that happens. Like I hear this a lot, right? Oh, I'll create this agent. Oh, I'll create that agent. but you'll create the agent to do what? Exactly, right? Connect what systems, connect what data, right? So you need to think those things through as just as a product manager who's going into the market and industry. And I'm also saying this from a design leadership perspective, because when product managers like this bring magic solutions, it's very hard to design for it, because as designers, we'll ask 75 different questions, which most of the time are going to go unanswered, right? So again, it's something for you to think about. But look, overall, appreciate the effort.
Thank you.
If I were to kind of put a blanket score across everything, I would kind of rate this 2.5 across the board, right? On all parameters and overall rating. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Tarini. Thank you so much, juries, for the feedback and scores. Now it's time for audience vote. So, audience, kindly scan the QR code given here and given on the screen, and you can have 20 seconds to cast your votes. All right. Thank you for casting your votes, audience. Let's take a look at the results. So, Tarini, for communication articulation, this is scored for design presentation, usage of business and design vocabulary, how powerful the pitch of the futuristic idea is, showcasing value mapping skill for the chosen business, showcasing ability to zoom in and zoom out and paint the holistic view of the business model for the chosen business. And that is it. Thank you so much. Now we have the final team presenting for the day. Saurav Sarkar, Shweta Tandon, and Divya. Guys, I hope all the technical issues are resolved and you guys are good to go.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, Divya, you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
Divya.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, juries and everyone. I'll be off the camera due to the technical glitch I have. Maybe after this sharing the screen, I'll come on camera. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Divya?
Am I audible?
Yes, you were. Now you are. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 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 Good evening, all. Myself, Divya, Shweta, and Saurabh, we are here to present you the one of the topic product that is CHIT, mental wellness application. So this is the agenda we have it. So let's get into the topic. Is that we all imagine that one or the other day when we come back from a work, we just try to sit. Our brains start racing across, hook on hook, still thinking about what happened with that, what is this. We end up with a lot of, unsynchronized threads running in our brain. So with no connects. And we try to put it across in the other way. We try to calm ourselves, but it is not happening at all. We try to go up with a lot of things, like we try taking a breathing exercise and a lot of things, but still our brain says that, hey, cool, we are not still aligned. We need some more expectations. So we were very clear that our problem statement we were trying to concentrate were on mental health, where day to day we are coming across one or the other perspective, but irrespective of age group. Every age group has a different perspective of depression, anxiety, stress, and everyone go through this in a day-to-day life in one or the other way. And we try to put it across another way, like we show it off on our family members or in the professional in a different way. As we try to control, though we try to control it, but we come up with one of the end of the day we throw it in a bigger it comes up at a bigger problem, and we face a lot of like depression and loneliness, and this is really burning it out. So analyzing the market, when we look up the market numbers, So globally, we have a lot of people suffering this mental illness, where around 1 billion people across the globe are affected, and around 10% of in India we are seeing that. And when we see the market of wellness application, it's around 7.5 billion. And we also see that right now we have a lot of application which goes on in a static mode. Shweta?
Yeah, so these were some of the interview questions that we have gone through with the personas, and we had find out that there are certain users which struggle with a lot of motivation to come on the app, and there are issues with the accessibility, making it more economical to the people, because current solutions that are there in the market is something where people are demotivated to come on the app, and there are different things that are going. In the next slide, we will go about user personas. So we've identified three key personas representing different life stages and emotional challenges. First, we have Arav, a 15-year-old student who struggles with academic pressure, social expectations, and expressing emotions. Then second, we have Ria, who is a 28-year-old working professional who faces work stress, irregular routines, and a lack of time for her self-care. And then we have Sunita, who is a homemaker, a 32-year-old person who manages everything from family responsibilities but often feel emotionally exhausted. Despite their different lifestyle, they have a common theme emerge. They all need accessible emotional support, guidance, and a safe space to manage all their mental well-being. Next, we will go to the empathy map. So to deeply understand our users, we created an empathy map capturing what they think, feel, and do. Users often say they feel stressed and overwhelmed, but they hesitate to openly discuss their emotions. And internally, many wonder, am I the only one feeling this way, or believe they should manage everything on their own? As a result, they tend to avoid conversations about emotions and use distractions like social media instead of actually addressing the issue. Next slide, Divya. So, to understand the market landscape, we actually analyze leading mental wellness spaces like Calm, Headspace, Visa, and Moodfit. And these platforms, though providing features like meditation, mood tracking, and support, which are helpful for relaxation and emotional awareness. However, one key challenge is pricing, as most of these apps charge between 800 to 1500 bucks per month, making less accessible for the people and many users. And another gap is the solution only focus on reactive wellness, and the key insight help us identify an opportunity to build an app which is more affordable, proactive mental wellness solution. Next slide, Divya.
So when we looked into this understanding about the problem statement, when we saw the market opportunity, the customer pain points and the user pain points, what they're going through each day, and we all have used the mental wellness app, where we feel down, we just open an app, we try to go through the journals or whatever the customized calming, the tune or the reading, whatever we have choose, that we are doing. But when we see there is nothing called proactive approach for the solution. When I'm down, there is nothing like coming as a buddy and telling me, hey, you seems to be down, can I help you out in playing a music for you so that you calm down? So this can be achieved through we are creating a solution with an AI where it detects our emotion. It detects our emotions, what we're feeling right now, how are we feeling it, based on our emotions and the feels up and down the pattern of our emotions. It tries to pop up with the notifications, or it starts being a buddy with a voice over assistance, which is making me calm and makes me feel very confident whenever I'm in depression or a stressed out or in anxiety. So keeping this in mind, we came up with an UCD where we are talking about an AI platform, powered wellness app, which is really proactive and helping the users who are in that depression or a trust to come out of it. So solution could be based on AI, and we have the users of age group from 15 to 50 years we have picked up, and who are having a lifestyle of high trust and anxiety related thing, and their fear of. We are also providing the trust as we are embedding the AI. We made sure that we build a trust by not selling the data to anyone. So that is the one thing we have made sure as one of our core concept, that we are not going to sell the data, and whatever the data we have, it will be made it sure that is secured and trustworthy and with the privacy of the users. So with the problems with motives, what we have come up, this is the strategy we look at as we are planning to go with the building app. So when we see one of the customer journey, we just thought of prototype share, and we try to analyze how they feel about the application, how it was when they onboarded, how did they feel about, and they when they were customizing the application, what they feel like. For example, reading the books, or if they want to select certain particular activity they want to do, or they want to write a journal over the voiceover. So these things can be taken up. So with the roadmap, when we look at the roadmap, we have come up with picking up a MVP, which is a core features.
Divya,
So which
can you hear me?
yes.
You have 15 minutes left. Just informing
Yeah,
you.
sure. Yeah. So we have picked up an MEP in such a way that roadmap is that first we provide the core features, and we try to analyze the market and get back on the AI embedding. And we have like smart engine, AI companion, engagement layer, social wellness ecosystem, and advanced AI automation, advanced AI automations. So we have picked up the MVP for zero, where we have planned which features are needed and which need to be considered for the based on the Moscow value. Sort of.
Okay, so coming back to the overall application flow, right? Like what it has for the MVP. Obviously, there will be an user onboarding which brings them to a dashboard with four major functionalities, which is activities, resources, sleep tracker, and coach appointment. And each of these has their own benefits, which helps the user to come off from their stressful situations. Divya, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so this is an overall. So we have the overall user flow for the onboarding, for activity, for the sleep tracker functionality, and the others. So I'll not spend much time on the flows due to the time constraint. So after the flow designing, we basically sketched out a low fidelity diagram, understanding, okay, what should come into this application if you're going to design, how should we approach the users of this application, what should be the verbiage that we are going to use. And then finally, from this, using Vercel V0, we created a prototype. So these are the various screens that we have. And Divya, if you can just click on the wellness app once. If you can show us the application. Okay, so basically, if you see, like, it obviously calms them down, saying, okay, you're welcome to the application. You can begin your journey based on free 7-day trial or premium, and then you move to the next stage, selecting one of them, giving your minimum PII data, which will be basically your name, email ID, the password that you create, and after that, we basically collect some of the other personal data, like what is your age, in which year you were born, and what is the where do you work, or what is your work life look like, right? Divya, can you move to the next screen, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is something where we capture the age and what is the work that you do. So you select student, it enters the application. We first check every day, like, how are you feeling right now? And again, this is something that we are providing as part of MVP now, but at a later point
Saurav,
stage.
your
Yeah,
time is up. You can have final 30 seconds to wrap up your thought.
sure. So currently we have the activities and the functionalities as I mentioned earlier, but ideally these all functionalities will be customized based on the data that the user enters, and AI will be basically able to understand, collect the data, and then suggest the activities that they should do, the articles they should read, and the kind of music or the audio they should listen to. Finally, I'll pass on to you, Divya, on the
Yeah.
solution validation
So how
side.
did we validate? The solution validate, we did it in a three approach. One with an hypothesis validation, assuming that if I give this particular feature, how the user is going to feel about it. So before we jump into the MVP and coming up with the launch, we thought first we validate our idea with our hypothesis validation by conducting the mock screens with the user interviews and survey, or with the pitch deck. Second, we did a validation with wireframe testing to check whether the user understands our flow, the application flow. Are they comfortable having these kind of colors or the flow of it, by making high fidelity prototypes, and A/B testing we did it. And soft launch we did with a smaller group with a beta version, testing how do they feel about this application if they have it with them, like having a basic of AI along with the features, whatever we talk about. How did they feel about it, and how are they feeling to use this, and is there any kind of changes they required so that we can improvise. So we did a solution validation with three different these three validation flow. Yeah, over to
I
you,
think that's
Jury.
all from us.
Questions for you. Yeah.
The questions that you have. Aruna, are you there?
Yes, Saurabh?
Yeah, I think we are done. We're open to questions if you have any.
Oh, all right. So sorry. I missed that. The laptop is glitching a little bit time to time. Terribly sorry. So, Judy, you can go ahead with the feedback. Harish Kumar sir, would you like to take the lead?
I thought this time it should be Raju, because he has not given the best. So you can go on.
I was pretty
Sure, that's
No worries, go ahead.
You want to go first?
Yeah, no worries. I can go. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
okay. Up to you guys.
So thank you so much. And this is very, very real problem. All of us somewhere, somehow we, go through all this kind of, problem, and be it work or be it in a relationship or anywhere. So I have some couple of question regarding your, the presentation. You laid out very well the visuals and the problem that you have shown. It was clearly uh, clear to me. So I have, I ask you the mental wellness, regarding mental wellness. So mental wellness is hard to measure, right now. How will your how will your product know actually it is improving, or the user mental state, not just the engagement? How your product will measure the it's improving, the person is improving. So
Yeah.
engagement not be.
Should I take that?
How will you understand? Okay, if Raju is a user of yours and there's a mental problem, so
Right.
yeah.
So here, if you've seen the application, right, like the first thing that we have is how you're feeling today, right? So currently in our MVP, every day we track that record, that how frequently and how are they actually feeling every day. So if it is a consistent, good, happy, we understand that okay, the customer is actually happy with the application, it's actually helping them. Going forward, as we integrate with the AI applications, like we have in our roadmap, where we are integrating with the wearables and the devices, where we can actually check their heart rates, the kind of various vitals of their body, and then based on that we customize our application, saying that okay, today I think based on your vitals and how you're feeling, I think these are the articles that you can go through, these are the audio visuals that you can go through, which will actually calm you down, these are the games that you can actually play, which will help you to improve your conditions in case of a student or something. So that's how we were thinking about it, Raju.
Great. So I'll have two questions, and those two questions is related to each other. So one would be, most wellness app already offer meditation, breathing, journaling. What is that your product is unique? What is that unique innovation that your solution is giving? Okay, right. And if your product is getting launched, right? Say that today the product is getting launched, what would be the first core feature could you build for MVP, and what evidence and support of that choice you'd be giving,
Okay.
right?
Okay, I'll take up this question. So first question is, what is unique about our product? So the unique about our product, as we mentioned, that right now we see a lot of application is not proactive. I feel down, I feel trust. I just need to go to app, open an app. I see I'm feeling trust. Okay, let me play the music. So that is how the right now the applications are working. But when we look at our application, what is the unique thing is that we are tracking the user through their voice. We are detecting as we are integrating the AI with wearable devices and voice assistant to the application. Whenever the user is feeling down, whenever the user is feeling different in his mood swings. So we feel that okay, he's feeling down. Like proactively, without me logging into the application, proactively the device prompt and say, "You're feeling down. Can I play you music for you so that you feel better? Can we have a breathing exercise together to calm you down? I feel your trust." So this is the thing. What when we did a market analysis, this one point made me think that why should I log into an application to make myself calm? Even if I have to go to YouTube, I have to go to YouTube and play the music. But when we say Alexa, when it is integrated, I say Alexa, play me a music. It does. So we have, we feel that we need to integrate the devices to make it, intelligently understand myself, so that I no need to do certain things manually. Instead, these whatever the available technologies and tools I have, I can benefit through that. So that is the uniqueness I see, that proactively helping the users instead of manual intervention. Second, and we talk about the MEP. Right now, we were in the phase of, of my screen is visible. So we picked up certain MVP like user onboarding, mood tracking, anxiety and trust tools, and wellness dashboard, and AI voice integration, therapy integrations, live support event. For example, have a breakup. So I know that I'm going through that phase. My app should feel like, okay, she's down. Let me console her. The console should be based on my life event. So I might have lost someone, or I might have in the breakup, or I had a very bad day in office. So my analysis should be done through the these AI or the gadgets we integrate, that is going to help me out to come out of that instead me speaking up. Though we have that also, but we make sure that these are the basic MVP zero. So we launch with this, so that the next when I do an AI integration, that is the smart wellness engine, I have few things to improvise, or how the customer is going to, how the user is going to feel about my application. Based on that, my phase two will be as AI cost is, as we all know, AI usage is very high when we talk about the tokenization. So when we launch MVP zero, we make sure the next phase I'm releasing, I have a cost budgeting done based on the user improvement and feedback suggestions.
Just to add on that, just one line. So the users are already, there's already an internal trigger here because they are not feeling motivated or they're depressed, right? The external trigger will be basically the notifications that we are sending to the user. Okay, you're not feeling well. How are you feeling today? Let's do something exciting. That kind of external triggers, which actually brings them to the application. And it's not that every day they are going to find the same articles and the same, videos or the audios in the application. We're going to change them based on the mood. So it's like that part also plays somewhere where they don't know what they're going to see today. They don't know what kind of audio or video we are recommending today. So I think that is something which will be really unique than the other competitors.
Okay. Okay, so for me, the presentation, that user flow, clearly you've shown what is the navigation and user flow that works well for me. I clearly understood that, okay, about your app, what it does. And the presentation start with the relatable scenario, which helps establish empathy, right? And but if coming to for the improvement point, the problem statement was too broad for me. Mental wellness is too much. The presentation lacks the sharp and focused user problem, and the overall persona. There are so many persona, but I haven't find which one is a primary persona for me. That's why that's where I try to understand which one is a primary persona and how it goes. So generally there is a primary and secondary tertiary, and according to me, that should maximum that should be a three persona, and that will take care of each of product. So yeah. So yeah, from overall, if I would say, presentation was nice. If you could have work on, more on problem statement, is very, very broad, and decide upon which one is the primary persona. So it'll give you the flow and storytelling better.
Noted.
So from my side, I'll give you overall, it is well articulated in terms of presenting and giving all the questions answered clearly. I'll go with 4.
Thank you, Jury.
Thank you.
Thanks, Raja.
Thank you so much for your valuable feedback and scores, Rajkumar sir. Now, Kiran sir or Harsh sir, either of you can take over. Totally up to you guys.
I can go because like Kiran won't leave any points.
Go ahead, Harsh. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, like you need like just a general advice, a 10-minute presentation, and you was like going on like Mach 3 speed, like crazy speed. Like couldn't like you literally had to like hold on. So it's too much of a speed which you need to understand. Like it's a 10-minute presentation. So which portions you want to articulate more on, it's going to you need to be a bit more prepped on this. Like I'm going to touch base on these topics for 1 minute, 1 minute on this. Just a general advice, not for a design perspective. Everywhere you would use it. Secondly, you touched upon AI couple of points, but I'm still not able to understand what is the role of AI in this. Can you
Okay.
briefly explain?
Sure. So now we all have used wellness app, right? So when you feel down, you open the app and you just start looking out for an, maybe I feel better when I read. When I'm stressed, if I read, I feel better. I need to open an app and I need to read, right? There is nothing like proactively helping me out. For example, we have a smartwatch, right? Like Apple, it detects my heartbeat, right? There is a heartbeat related thing. So if my heartbeat is going high, I get a notification, your heartbeats are more. So there is an SOS being triggered, right? So whichever we have synchronized. Now, when we talk about this wellness app, we don't see that AI, embedded most of the application, and it is not proactively helping me out. For example, if I'm in a room, I have CC camera embedded, and it is recognizing my. I have embedded that application. That I have embedded that with my wellness application. When I'm sitting in a room, I feel trust. My face changes. Right. When my face changes, my app detects I'm feeling down based on the facial recognition. So what it does immediately it prompts me. I'm not opening. I'm not nearby any of the mobile phone or anything. It just prompts me with saying that Divya, you're feeling down. Do you want me to read you something? Can I go through this book for you? Can you tell me what makes you calm so that I can help you out? There is an AI agent which prompts, which is integrated with these gadgets. Second thing is that
How do you identify when someone is feeling low?
through the facial expressions. So we have this computer vision so embedded with AI, right? We have that facial recognition. Or best way, I take my voice. If I'm down,
Like, why would I go to your application if I'm in a low mood? I just had a breakup.
No. I'm not opening the application at all. I'm not opening it. Okay, best way I'll take you. Forget about this thing. I'll give you one more scenario. I am feeling down. I've kept my mobile next to me, and I'm very low. I'm talking very low. After a meeting from the office, when I came back, I feel there was something change in my voice tone. My application is observing my voice pattern and saying, okay, it prompts me saying, Divya, are you feeling low? And I say, no, I'm feeling better. If I say,
Why would I allow an application to hear me all the time? This is a problem, a security problem, which other applications.
yes.
Why would I do that with this application?
So that is the one of the pillar when we talk about UCD. So when I talk about this UCD, one thing I mentioned is that we are building a trust. AI can be misused, an application can be misused. So we are building a trust of saying that customer, we are not going to misuse any of the thing. Your privacy matters the most because when we talk about wellness, it is too personal to keep certain things. We cannot just put it across in a platform where data can be taken up. So we have too many things going through our life, which we cannot even, talk to our parents, or we cannot talk to our spouses, or maybe my friends. So there are certain things where we cannot share. We can share it through the app. First thing, main thing about this application when we are building is that we are making sure we have 100% privacy and trust. Based on this, only users will come back to us.
Okay. So just a general feedback, looking at the MVP, what your inception is way far off to the MVP, in my opinion. Like what the MVP looks like, it's right now it's a bit too much far off. Okay. Second thing, once again, like just a general feedback again, I'm not really interested on like what are the interview questions you are. It's good that you have mentioned it, but I want to know the crunch of what, because you can have, we all know this in this panel, like you can have any set of questions, but yes, it doesn't have an accordance. You never go through the same questions because the personas you meet are different. It's a dialogue you are having, not like, okay, answer question number one, answer it. It's not that conversation. When you're having interviews, it's a dialogue which happens. So most importantly, your user interview questions, yes, you have done the steps. So I need to, you need to focus more on what happened with the insights towards this. Okay. Uh, Again, this whole AI is still a bit of dodgy to me. It's still far-fetched than the idea to what I think the MVP should be. So I like no, I like the pen paper wireframes, but yes, uh, again, all of these case studies which you have presented is like again a generic case study which has like a proper order. No one has talked about challenges or like going back, shifting. Like these are things which I want to sort of, as us leadership, we want to listen because we are already tired of this like structured case study of like you get the user research, you get the competitive analysis, you like we all know this. Like, okay. So I would rate for you 3.5.
Yeah. Thanks, Harish.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your feedback and the scores. Now, over to Kiran, sir. So, would you like to give the team the feedback and the scores for them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I mean, the product in itself, it hits home, right? There's a lot of people who deal with mental illness, so I think there's a great deal of empathy when it comes to a product like this and need for one. So I think you've kind of identified that, so which is good, right? And I like how you've kind of visually kind of put this together. The app in itself, the screens are quite well done, right? It feels like a quick commerce experience for mental health, right? Ratings are clear, availability. I like the tags, the way you kind of visualize that. It's nice. The lack of immediate support, which was always a problem. I think you kind of articulated those things really well. I love the color scheme, the use of soft green. The border radii looks pretty nice. So all in all, white spaces are kind of spot on. So it's an app that I would personally use if it looked like this, right? Now, again, to a lot of things what Harsh and Raju called out, I think this is where, then it starts to get a little hairy from here on, right? You really talk about, and let me again try and be as forthcoming as I can in this, right? There's a lot of little ghosts in your overall product experience, right? You talk about wearable integration, right? You talk about behavioral tracking. The prototype, I didn't see any evidence of that, right? I understand, okay, you might be doing this as an MVP, you might come back with it a little later. But again, a lot of that data which comes in even from your devices, it doesn't really change the UI, right? If the app is supposed to be proactive, and I think you talked about this, right? Your heart rate has been elevated for 10 minutes, you're stationary, let's do like a 2-minute, what is that, box breathing exercise like you called out here. Right now, instead, there is this thing where it's asking the user, hey, how are you feeling? Right? Instead of really kind of being a little more proactive on this front. Now, there's a lot of active user effort here, which somebody dealing with mental health really wants to avoid. The other thing that I found a little flawed over here was, the whole onboarding user flow and prototype where, your very second screen that you have here, right? It says choose your plan. Now you got to be aware that in general, for a mental health application, asking for money or commitment before providing a single moment of calm, it's a conversational killer, right? Now, as most design leaders and most product leaders, right, you must understand that value must precede the ask, right? It's a given, right? And it's not rocket science, right? At this point, you're really forcing an overwhelmed user to make a financial decision when they are, they're in exploratory mode of sorts. They don't know what your app can actually provide. So they're a little cautious in terms of what's going on. And suddenly when I'm presented, all right, oh, you got to pay, I got to pay to see more. It's like, all right, you know what? I know you have a free plan, great. But again, you're really exposing a lot more on the other side. So I'm just a little concerned about how somebody would take to that. This is where your adoption could kind of start to drop off, right? So you need to be mindful of that. You have a very, your screen activity, I think it's just very generic. It's a list of buttons, thought journaling, breathing exercises. And I think Harsh touched upon this as well. Where is really the AI in all of this, right? If I look at your roadmap, a lot of the stuff you're talking about advanced AI features, and if I look at the timeline, that's like about what, if I do the math and if my math serves me correctly, that's about 3 years out from now. A lot of the advanced AI stuff you're talking about is already happening today. So if you're trying to bring in some of this advanced AI intelligence, thinking that, hey, 3 years down the line, I don't know what's going to happen 3 years down the line. I don't know what AI is going to look like then, right? It's already pretty advanced. It's going to be insanely advanced by then. And you're playing a significantly catch-up game, which, it might never see the light of day by then. Yes, of course, you'll adapt in this, that, and the other, and all of that stuff. But, thinking that, hey, I can do this 3 years down the line when people are already doing it in many ways, I think you're kind of missing a huge opportunity here, right? So you got to think about this. You built a beautiful library, but what you're really promising here is no more than a personal trainer of sorts. You've identified user input, as a major pain point, but your entire prototype kind of relies on user self-reporting their mood and navigating categories, right? How does your wearable integration really play a big part? You talked about it in phase 2, but again, I'm not seeing how it does that, right? There's a massive AI black box, and I think both Raju and Harsh touched upon this. It really is about being adaptive in many ways. Your experience needs to be adaptive, especially if you're thinking about AI. I mean, you think about this from, as say, a homemaker, say Sunita as a homemaker who comes in and at 4 p.m. she's going to be stressed every single day. So when she opens the app, or the app kind of nudges her at that point in time, it's keeping in mind that, hey, she's come in at this point in time, she's come back after a long day, she's going to be stressed, everybody's going to come back from school. How do you then calm her down versus then you making her choose, oh, it's 4 o'clock, I've got to open the app. Now what do? I should click on doing breathing exercises for like 5 minutes or so. Right? Like, you've got to think really about how you use AI, which I'm not seeing, at least in this context, right? You say it in your roadmap, I don't see it, right? So I think those are the things to me that are kind of, which to me is a major gap. So if you've done well in definitely different areas. I think your persona and empathy, I think you did beautifully on that. That's the strongest part of your pitch, right? Like, I'd give that like an absolute 4.5 out of 5, right? Beautifully done. But your design is really, really nice. I don't know whether you had an actual designer on this, but it looks very, very visually looks good. Functionally, it looks very generic, but again, that's because of how the product has been defined, right? That isn't necessarily a designer's problem at this point in time. But your overall flow, user flow, all of the heavy friction that you're bringing in, you're really ignoring the proactive promise that you're making here. I mean, to me, that is where this thing starts to break, right? So persona, empathy, all of that stuff, great, 4 out of 5. Visual design, everything that you've done there, 4 out of 5. But I think the flows, that whole concept in itself, which I'd give that like a 2 out of 5. So you've done well in many areas, but without the core being right, the others really don't make sense, right? So again, like I said, great thoughts, love the idea, but what are you thinking as something that should be too far out is already happening in many areas. People are already used to AI in so many different ways, which your product isn't necessarily addressing. You're making the promise, you're making the integration, and I think you talked about the thing about, yeah, if I have a CCTV camera in the room, it identifies my facial. Like I can tell you, there's no CCTV camera today unless you're talking about an 8K definition view that's going to look at people's faces and identify. Look, your phone itself, half the time, my phone at least, mine isn't a very old phone, it's maybe about 2 years old. Even that has it's half the time it doesn't recognize who I am, right? Like, and the facial recognition technology isn't great yet, right? It isn't there. I mean, forget it identifying who the user is. For it to identify expressions, you're really talking about FBI, raw, Mossad level technology in the hands of users, which is just too far out, right? So again, you make a lot of these promises, but I think there's a lot of gaps. So it's something to think about, right? Conceptually, it's really, really nice. But I like the idea. The execution, something to think about. Yeah.
Thank you, Judy. Noted the feedback.
Thanks, Kiran.
Thank you.
Sir, would you also
Overall
like to
score,
give-
yeah, sorry, overall score, if you want to, probably give it a 3 out of 5. So
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. And thank you. So that was the final theme of the evening. So thank you so much to all the presenters and jury members. Now, before we announce the winner for the Skillathon, I request the jury members to accept our uh, 1 second, please. Hold on. Before we get to the jury member appreciation, one final thing that we need to do, we need to have the audience cast votes for the final team. Saurav, Shweta, and Divya. For them, audience, please do cast the vote and you can have 20 seconds. All right. Thank you so much, audience, for casting your vote for the final team. Let's take a look at the results. Just a moment there. So sorry, I sincerely apologize. There was a problem with the audience poll. Let me reshare that again. So sorry about this. Kindly hold on. All right. So sorry about that. Audience, if you could cast your votes now. You can have 20 seconds. All right. Thank you so much for that. Now we'll jump to the results. Yeah. So for communication and articulation, for design presentation, for the usage of business and design vocabulary, for how powerful the pitch of the futuristic idea was, for showcasing value mapping skills for the chosen business, and for showcasing ability to zoom in and zoom out and paint the holistic view of the business model for the chosen business. Yes, thank you so much, all the teams, for presenting. Now, before we announce the winner of the Skillathon, I request the jury members to accept our certificates on behalf of IPL. We would love to hear your experience on today's Skillathon. Now, at first we have Kiran Vikesa. I thank you so much for all the time and efforts and all the valuable feedback that you've given to all the teams today, sir. Really appreciate it. Now, I would love to hear few words from you about how today's experience, how today's product design skillathon was for you.
No, thanks, Aruna, and thanks to Harsh and Raju as well for being wonderful panel members here and judges here along with me. That made this journey definitely more exciting. And thank you to the participants, right? Um, it was wonderful to see a lot of great ideas come in. I love the fact that we're really thinking about, a lot of core issues that impact society and which touch upon the human empathy factor. And I absolutely love that we're talking about things like accessibility. We're talking about things like mental health. I think these are really core factors that affect how the world functions and runs today. I do love the fact that the Institute of Product Leadership is continuing to push these opportunities. So, Aruna, thank you to you and your team for continuing to do a fantastic job in terms of just, continuing to groom the future of product leadership in itself. Having said that, I also want to add on that the amount of ideas that came in, though I know we looked at only 4 of them today, but I'm sure all of y'all who participated in this and who are listening in, feedback is a gift, right? Look at it as an opportunity for you to continue to build bigger and better products. It doesn't matter what the outcome of the Skillathon is. It doesn't matter if you win. It doesn't matter if you lose. It doesn't matter if you come in second. What you should take away from this is a wealth of feedback that's shared by Harsh and Raju. And at some level, I like to think I provided some good feedback as well. But if you look at it a little more holistically, there's a lot of industry experience that is sitting on this panel that has shared some very insightful feedback. Take heart from that and try and apply it into your products. Try and ground them into reality, and try and understand that AI is a means to an end, right? AI is a technology. AI is a bridge. It is not the thing yet which is going to create a construct that does not exist, right? Maybe eventually it will. I don't know. I can't predict what it's going to look like 6 months down the line, 2 years down the line. I do hope it's going to be even more amazing than it is. But at the same time, I want you all to take heart that it took a lot of guts to come and share in front of industry leaders. So kudos to each and every one of you. Keep the heart, keep the faith, and keep doing a fantastic job and keep building fantastic products. So that would be my word of advice to you all. And Aruna, again, thank you. And Harsh and Raju, personally, it was fantastic meeting you all. And I hope we will connect in some of the forums or at least in some of the events over a period of time. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very beautifully put. And just out of curiosity, do you and Harsh, sir, know each other prior to this, or do you have any prior?
No, we
Because
haven't
you
met.
two you two seem to have a very good rapport, so I was just wondering.
No, we haven't met, and neither have Raju and me met.
I think you guys should meet in person. I mean, it would be one hell of a conversation.
No, absolutely, and I look forward to that. Harsh and Raju have been very insightful here, and absolutely, Harsh, Raju, I look forward to connect with you all at some point. If you're based out of Bangalore, love to meet up. If not, we'll figure something. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now, let's move to the second jury of the day. That is Mr. Rajkumar sir. So first of all, really, really appreciate all the time and effort that you've taken today. Your insight, I'm sure the learners have taken a note of it and they will apply it to their futuristic goals as well. And I'm sure they appreciate all the advice that you've given today. And that too on a Saturday evening, you took your time out of your day to be the jury for today's special event. So really, thank you for that. Now, we would love to hear a few words from you as well, sir, about today's experience, how it went for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. And I'm very, obliged and overwhelmed by, Kiran sir, like how you mentioned. So it is like, having over here between two very experienced jury member, I learned a lot from them also. And while seeing all this wonderful presentation, so my Saturday went well today. So I learned so many things. I, take away so many learning from here. And overall, regarding this program also, it's very good initiative that, see everybody, according to me, everybody is a designer, right? And they have capability of doing all those things. So nowadays, if you see AI came into the picture and we are into in a dilemma, okay, how the future would look like and how we go about it. And we also, as a designer, product designer, we use AI in our day-to-day life. And I've seen so many AI intervention over here. And like how Kiran sir also told about judicial use of the AI. So according to me also, it should be a master always, not a slave of the AI. If AI will take over you, it will be not a good sign for us also for the humanity. So I can see that okay, make a use of AI in a design process also. We put a prompt and you get all those idea. So what I would suggest over here also, like for us also, I am from design colleges and we learned a lot, so many things. And by, our using our brain nowadays, it is, bas ek prompt डालो and everything is in front of you, Figma make and anything. But you are not able to empathize with that, right? In a design process, always faculty and everybody taught us, go into the shoe of the user, right? Go into the shoe of user, then they're able to understand. So you have to decide where you have to take off by AI and where you have to take help of the AI, so your brain should work, you think analytically. I go for, so many places for the teaching also. Nowadays, student, we human being are lazy, very, 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 very lazy. And, we want our work on the fingertip. But what would my suggestion would be for this forum also? Think, standardize and everything, the problem statement and everything, do it from yourself. Take a help of, AI for the redundant work, for the, repetitive work that would make you as a good, let's say, designer and good thinker, right? So yeah, I would love to, have a conversation with you all, like Kiran sir and Harsh, everybody. And thank you so much, Aruna, for having me here.
Absolutely, sir. The pleasure's all mine.
Thank you.
And now finally we have Harsh Kumar sir. Please do accept the certificate on our behalf. And it was especially entertaining with you here. So we would love to hear a few words from you as well, sir, about how the event was for you.
Okay. Like, first of all, personally, I want to thank everyone who is there, the presenters as well as the jury. A lot of learning curves. Like, I think from learning should come from anyone, like junior, senior, coworker. It's a never-ending curve. So yes, always ready to learn. So it's a great event. Just a few points to my to the presenters and like the future leaders. Like one, you when you are going to present, like I like in the future, let's look at like how much minutes you have and how much time you have. Let's have some trial runs. This is something generic in the future we're gonna have, and I would like to hear like more about from you coming forward. Like what are the challenges and where you will back and forth, and then you sort of reapplied the design thinking, and which assumptions you took and it actually failed. So I want to know like the curves of the product thinking which is happening, not just like, oh yes, it's completely linear, we have got all sorted out, this is a good thing. And like with the use of AI, so when you talk about AI, like AI shouldn't be in the air. So, like Kiran said, like AI cannot create something out of thin air. You need to have something, and then AI is going to improvise and help you out. So, but AI is blurring the roles of product owners, product managers, and design thinkers in the future. And it's a good opportunity. And I think none of this in this panel is going to believe like we should be just on the pixels and operating the just like that. So it gives us an opportunity to think about like as product strategists, as the technical constraints, to how do we prioritize this, and plus what are the commercial aspects to it, so we can concentrate on all aspects rather than, okay, this is just the final product or this goes on to the application, right? So yeah, just these points, but overall it was all amazing. I'm always like concentrate a bit more on the critical factors, because yeah, that's what I have been like brought up in this industry.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. And again, thank you all the juries for your valuable feedback. I'm sure all the insightful feedback and the questions that you raised for the teams will encourage the students to look into the product with more clarity. So really appreciate that. Now we move to the most exciting part of the event, the winner announcement. So as you can see, Skillathon winner gets a gift voucher. And secondly, yes. Any guesses? Any guesses? All of you, including, I mean, not juries, including the audience and the other learners. If you have any guesses, you're more than welcome to post them in the chat box as well. I can give you 20 seconds for that. All right. So let's go forward with announcing them. Congratulations, Rachna, Arpit, and Rishikesh on being the Skillathon winners for today's UI UX Design Skillathon. Really, really proud of you and hearty congratulations. Would you like to share a few words, all of you, regarding today's win?
Thank you so much. Thank you. We were really excited to present this. Like we were kind of hoping for this since last 2 months actually, since the day we joined this. It was really it has been a really long learning journey from the beginning. We have been working on this idea since last 2 months. We have done couple of iterations. We have like made multiple changes. We have revamped the entire presentation multiple times. So yeah, it was really a great experience. Love to hear the feedback, and would definitely adapt to all those which we have got. Thank you so much to the jury. Thank you so much, Aruna.
Rachna and Rishikesh, would you like to share a few words about today's victory?
Yeah, definitely, Aruna. First of all, I really want to thank all the juries because it was a very valuable feedback because we are still learning. I know it's like the initial steps which are getting into product and product development and UI and UX design. So your feedback would definitely be very helpful for us. Really thank you for Has sir and Raju sir and Kiran sir. It was very thankful for you guys for giving us a very valuable feedback. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm truly very happy with the feedback mainly. So it's not about the winning here. So mainly the recognition and also the idea behind it. Since we are exploring completely on this product manager side, like everything end-to-end product. So it's more on, first starting from whatever the process it has. I can't just, right away go and just put across my idea and say, oh, this is something which is potential. So looking at all those factors, learning this in a very structured way. And the IPL, truly, we are very, thankful for IPL as well. And all the juries here, it's really important for us to put it across where exactly how to understand the ideas, how to consider, like what do you call some of these points, technical terms of what product manager or everything that comes in the product. So we wouldn't be aware. So this platform and you guys have really helped us. We are very happy. Thank you so much for everyone.
The pleasure is all ours, Rachna. It is always very exciting and something I personally look forward to hear all the product ideas and how creative some of you are. It's brilliant to be a part of the experience. And so once again, with that, we have come to the end of today's Skillathon. Thank you, dear audience and esteemed jury, for being part of our Skillathon. We would love to see your participation in the future as well. So until then, a very good evening. Have a brilliant weekend ahead. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Enjoy
you
your
all. Have a great
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.